Hello, students. Today we are going to do the chapter of revisiting AI project cycle and ethical frameworks for AI. इस चैप्टर में आप लोग AI प्रोजेक्ट साइकिल और एथिकल फ्रेमवर्क्स फॉर AI के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. इस चैप्टर्स के कंटेंट में आपको वेरियस एआई डोमेन्स है के बारे में जानने को मिलेगा, एथिकल फ्रेमवर्क्स के बारे में, लर्न बायोएथिकल प्रिंसिपल और हाउ टू अप्लाई द फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ रियल लाइफ केसेस. So the detail of this particular entire thing is given in this particular PDF. तो अगर आप इस PDF को देखना चाहते हैं तो इस PDF में ये कंटेंट है. So you can go through this content one by one. There are 26 slides in total is there. So this entire content and content of all other chapters of class 10 AI is there in this course material. So this is the course material and the link is given at the top. Okay. So this course material is there. And if you see all the chapters, their videos, and their question answer, facilitator chapters, their summary, CBSE specimen questions, papers, a marking scheme, question bank for all the chapters. Then you have a special answers of all the facilitator chapters. Everything is available here. Okay, so today we will focus on the chapter of revisiting AI project cycle. So हर एक इस चैप्टर के कंटेंट के ऊपर एक हमने वीडियो बनाया है जो इस चैप्टर के कंटेंट के ऊपर है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर दिस वीडियो विथ यू. अगर इफ यू लाइक द वीडियो, please share and subscribe my channel also, and I will even request you to buy the course which is there. For this entire course material is there at a very cheap price, so you can get this course and you can score very good marks. And even this AI is the next future generation too, so the knowledge of itself will give you an additional uh, um edge over other people, because if today in the next coming 10 years you will see AI will be everywhere. So let's start with our video of AI project cycle.
Hey everyone, and
So this
welcome.
is
Have
the
you ever
video.
wondered how something like artificial intelligence actually gets made? I mean, really, you can think of it like building a house. You absolutely need a detailed blueprint, right? A plan that tells you exactly where everything goes. But you also need a conscience to step back and ask, should we build this here? And how's it going to affect the neighborhood? Today, we're diving into both. Think about it. From the spam filter that keeps your inbox clean to the recommendations on your favorite streaming app, AI is literally everywhere. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but all that power brings up a massive question. How do we make sure we're building this stuff to be fair for everyone? To even begin to answer that, we've got to look at the blueprint first. So to figure that out, we need to pull back the curtain a little bit and really understand the how. It turns out that pretty much every AI project, whether it's a tiny app on your phone or a massive global system, follows the same fundamental plan to get from just an idea to a working reality. And that plan, it has a name. It's called the AI project cycle. This is our blueprint. It's the structured step-by-step process that developers follow to make sure that what they're building is not only going to work, but that it's also ethically sound right from the very start. This blueprint is broken down into 5 distinct stages. You can almost think of it as the core recipe for making any kind of AI. So let's do a quick walkthrough of each one. And here they are: problem scoping, data acquisition, data exploration, modeling, and finally, evaluation. This 5-step cycle is the absolute foundation. So let's quickly break down what each of these stages actually looks like in practice. First up, problem scoping. And this is probably the most crucial first step. Before anyone writes a single line of code, the team has to get super clear on the problem. What are we trying to do here? Are we building an app that can spot plant diseases from a photo? Or maybe a system to predict city traffic? Getting this right from the beginning sets the whole project up for success. Okay, next up is data acquisition. AI learns from data, which means the quality of that data is, well, everything. This stage is all about gathering reliable, authentic information. So if you're building an AI to predict a disease, you're going to need huge amounts of accurate medical records. It's really that simple. Garbage in, garbage out. Now, once you have all that data, you can't just dump it into the machine. It's time for data exploration. This is where developers become detectives. They use charts and graphs to visualize the data, hunting for patterns, spotting errors, and finding hidden clues that are going to shape the final model. Then we get to the real heart of the whole process, modeling. This is where the learning in machine learning actually happens. Developers use all that clean data to train different AI models, creating algorithms that can start to make predictions, like recognizing what's in an image or understanding what a sentence means. And finally, we have what is arguably the most critical stage, evaluation. A model isn't done just because it works. You have to test it and test it again with brand new data to check its performance and, this is key, to find and reduce any harmful bias that might have crept in. This is the quality control that makes sure the AI is actually ready for the real world. So, that's the 5-stage blueprint, but what are the actual tools in the toolbox? AI doesn't just work with one type of information. It uses different toolkits depending on what kind of data it's supposed to be working with. We can basically break it down into 3 main domains: computer vision, which gives AI the power of sight; natural language processing, or NLP, which helps it understand human language; and of course, the ability to work with pure statistical data, the world of numbers. Each one of these toolkits unlocks a whole different set of superpowers. So, for example, computer vision is what lets your phone automatically detect faces in photos, and it's what helps farmers use drones to check on crop health from way up in the sky. NLP is the magic behind chatbots like Alexa understanding your questions, and it's what keeps almost all of that junk spam out of your inbox. And with statistical data, AI can crunch these massive data sets to power things we use every single day, like price comparison websites or the weather forecasts we check before we head out the door. Okay, so we've got the blueprint, the AI project cycle, and we've got the toolkits. But just knowing how to build something isn't enough. We have to ask why we're building it and if we should build it in the first place. This is where we move beyond the blueprint and start talking about the conscience. And this slide really nails the difference. On one side, you've got the blueprint. That's the technical framework for how to build something. But on the other side, you've got the conscience. That's the ethical framework, the moral guide that asks why we're building this and if it's the right thing to do. It guides us to create things that are actually fair and beneficial for people. So why is this so incredibly important? Well, because AI is already making decisions that affect real lives in things like hiring, the justice system, and healthcare. A conscience, an ethical framework, is what prevents harmful bias from taking over. It ensures the system is transparent, it builds public trust, and it pushes us to use this amazing technology responsibly. To see what can go wrong when that blueprint is used without a conscience, let's look at a real-world case study from the world of healthcare. The goal here was a noble one. An AI algorithm was designed to identify patients who needed extra medical attention and help hospitals get resources to them more effectively. On paper, it sounded like a perfect use of the AI blueprint. But there was a huge hidden flaw. The AI wasn't actually looking at people's health needs. It was trained on historical healthcare spending. And what happened? The algorithm became biased. It wrongly assumed that people in a certain region who spent less on healthcare were healthier, when in reality, they just had less access to care to begin with. So how do you fix something like that? You apply a conscience. In this case, by using a bioethics framework, a set of moral principles that comes straight from medicine. And as you can see here, the solution starts to become clear. The principle of autonomy means you have to be transparent about how the AI works. Do not harm means you have to stop using that biased spending data, period. Beneficence, or doing good, pushes you to find better data to actually help patients, and justice demands that you make sure the system provides fair access for everyone. This all brings us to the core lesson of this entire process. The technology itself is really just a tool. How we choose to build it and guide it, that matters more than anything. Ultimately, building responsible AI isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about weaving the two together. You need both the rigorous step-by-step technical blueprint and a guiding moral conscience to make sure the things we create actually serve humanity well. Look, we have the blueprint, we know how to build this stuff, and the technology is only going to get more and more powerful. So, the real question we're all left with is this: Whose values, whose ethics, and whose conscience are we going to choose to embed into the code that will literally shape our future?